I'm gonna cycle the key a couple times.
What?
I'm gonna cycle it a couple times. All right, let's try it. I don't know.
Your oil line, not tight.
Oh.
Shitting oil all over. And whatever's in there came out, so I might have to put it on, tighten it down.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. See how we ain't got it all done, but it's enough to fire it. Come on, baby. Oh, the E85. Things off.
Might need to get new seals for that turbo. I don't know.
It's alive! What? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure all that smoking is the seals in the turbo. All the oil's just blowing right through them and going out that exhaust. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I don't know for sure, but I'll do a little bit of investigating. But the truck is running better than I was expecting, since I haven't messed with the tune at all yet and I haven't even put the laptop on it. So we're loading it up to take it to my place, get it out of the garage, free up the hoist, because there's at least 2 or 3 other vehicles that need to get worked on that need the hoist. So we're getting this out of his way, plus pretty much everything else I can do at my place. Alright, I don't remember where we left off. Things have been crazy hectic lately and just all over the place schedule-wise. But I do know that I need to get back to work on this thing because it is hella close to being done. I need to get to work on the exhaust system. I just picked up some hole saw bits to murder this fender. And then I got a new chop saw blade to try and get a bunch of pie cuts to do the exhaust, because I just have one straight piece of stainless right here. This big nasty boy right here. So I think like I'm almost to get the radius right. I'm almost gonna have to immediately start with pie cuts and try to get that done. And then I've been all but talked into welding the wastegate right onto the housing here. And I mean, since the turbo has to come off anyway, it'll be the easiest spot to do. And something I just thought of, like, I don't know how I forgot this, but there are no oxygen sensors hooked up on this truck at all. It's a miracle that this thing's running as well as it does. To be honest, I don't even know where I put them. I think I still have them setting on the frame rails, but I don't really know. So we'll see. But I think we're gonna start with the most exciting part first, which is just plowing a hole right through this fender. Now, I know that that kind of takes away from the whole street truck thing that we got going on, but fender exits are really cool. And to be honest, this isn't even the original fender. When I first got the truck, the original fender was rotted out. So I picked this up for like 20 bucks off Marketplace. And I actually did a video swapping it, So I need to figure out exactly where I want that fender exit to come through, and I think it's going to be like right about in here, just that way I have plenty of room. And I want to make sure that the hinge isn't going to hit it. So unfortunately, I think we're going to be into this crease a tiny bit. Before I get too far ahead of myself, I need to find some masking tape, that way I don't butcher the fender too much. And I don't know where I put any masking tape at. Let me find that real quick. I found it. So really the main reason I use masking tape for these sometimes, because I don't think I did on the RX-7, is just to try to not screw up the paint that much. Not like this is great paint, I just don't want to deal with it being all gouged up and kind of shitty looking. Alright, so now that it's taped off, I have to figure out where I want to cut the hole. Ideally, I want it back like in here somewhere, just because I think that'll look a lot better, but I think there's going to be a lot of stuff behind the fender kind of getting in the way. So I really think there's going to be up in here, which isn't terrible. I'm going to use this trim ring to kind of get a better idea on where things need to be. Let's say it's going to be right in there, give or take. What all's in there? We might be able to clear that support there. Might have to notch it a little bit, not a huge deal. And then let's look at the angle to the turbo. I think that's doable. We might be able to do just like a straight 90 degree and then send it. So yeah, I think that this is probably going to be the ticket. The only last thing I want to check is the hood hinge clearance to make sure that's not going to come down super far. Ooh, and it does. You guys see it over there? It does come down quite far. Good thing I didn't just start cutting. Alright, we might have a little bit more problems going out the fender here than I thought, so I'm going to do a little bit of brainstorming. See you in a second. Alright, so I think I've got a spot figured out where I want to put the fender exit. So I got that kind of traced around the bezel. Now I'm going to try to find the center of the circle as best I can. Alright, so I think if I just go in between these two, right about there is the center of the circle, because I'm whiffing like crazy on this. But I've got an idea where I want to start the pilot bit, so as long as it's in this general area, and I don't like somehow put it up here, we'll be good. There we go. We did it.
Yeah.
Can you say we did it?
I did.
You did it. And then we can see right there, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of trimming, but I think we can make it work. Oh yeah, look at that. Ho ho! Is that gonna be cool? You're not so sure about it. Okay, I screwed up, guys. Yep, if I'm being honest, I think I needed to be lower. Yeah, I think I needed it like right here. Oh boy. Alright, so I got all the tape off and then I remembered. Alright, so I got all the tape off and then I remembered I have to drill all these holes for the bolts and nuts to hold this actual Can you hold on for 1 second? Can you stay still for a second? All right, thank you. All right, so I got all the tape off, and then I remembered I had to drill all these holes for the... All right, so I got all the tape off the fenders, and then I remembered I had to drill the holes for the bolts to hold that bezel on. So I got them all marked out. I'm just gonna start with a couple to get it in place, and then I'm gonna make sure that all the holes are... Yeah. Yeah, you know, you probably shouldn't be playing with sharp metal. Let's just cut that out of the video. So I can get the bezel bolted on, and then I'm going to drill the others to make sure that they all line up. You know what, let's... Alright, it's the next day. I finally got a chance to work on this thing again, and I'm starting to figure out a plan for it. I got the bezel actually bolted in place. It's not super tight, but it's quite snug just so it doesn't wiggle around too much. And I've got the inside totally butchered. And I think what I'm going to do, I measured the angle coming from perpendicular with the turbo flange to the exit here. Depending on how you want to look at it, it's 60 or 120 degrees. So I'm going to try to make some pie cuts and keep this pretty tight so that the angle comes like right in here somewhere. And then I'm going to most likely try to dip it down a little bit and then maybe one cut to bring it back up, like one pie cut up here to try and get under this thing, because for the life of me I cannot get a clean angle on this, and I refuse to just pull the fender off for that one small cut. So you know what? I'll just make myself suffer. And I think I'm going to have to shave the inside of this ring here so that I can have the pipe on a little bit more of an angle, because the firewall is right there. So it's going to be a bit of a fight. For future reference, to fit a 4-inch down pipe, you'll want this kind of down here a little bit more. I'll get it, or I'll just get another fender. Not a huge deal, but I'd like to get it done this first go around. That way I don't waste a bunch of exhaust pipe, because that stuff's expensive. 4-inch stainless, like a 4-foot piece, was I think like 50 bucks. And you can see here kind of my little remedial math session here. I knew that, well, I had an idea of what the exact angle was. I used this homemade little piece here to find the angle. So like at first I was going to do a 9-degree cut angle, which would have been an 18-degree transition angle, but that would have been 3 1/3 pie cuts, which didn't make sense. So I just kept going until like I found a number that I thought would both look good and work well. So I'm going with a 6-degree cut angle, 12-degree transition angle. Anyway, I'm going to probably do a lot of this work off camera because it's going to be a lot of trial and error, and I know that I'll just end up eating a bunch of the camera battery and wasting a bunch of like memory card space. So I'm just going to do some playing around, because I've never done like serious intentional pie cuts before. I've just done like little bullshitty ones like this. So let me kind of learn, and then I'll get back with you guys. All right, so we're making pretty good progress. I've got this elbow all tacked up. I was starting to work my way here, but I think the smarter play might be to start working from here and get all this transition done. And then all I've got to do is just connect these, and that'll be pretty simple, I think. So I'm just gonna keep at it, and I'll update you guys when there's something worth showing. All right, we are finally done. I don't know how many times I'm gonna stop and start this video, but I think this is day 3 of trying to tackle this thing. Now, I know I showed very little fabrication in this, and that's because it was a lot of trial and error. This is my first time doing like a real project with pie cuts and this much TIG welding. I definitely made some mistakes. I dipped the tungsten so many times. I cursed, I threw things, but it is done. Up close, they are not pretty at all. Like maybe right here, if you're kind of squinting, it looks okay. If you're just like, if you're looking like at the chop saw, this thing looks good, but if you look right at it, you're like, man, that kind of sucks. But trying to be an optimist, I can really only get better from here, so if this is like the first thing I do, I guess I'm okay with it. So now I'm going to throw this thing back on the truck. It is a little bit of a tight fit, trying to put it all in at one piece. Someday I might put a V-band like right here, just so that it's easier and it's, you know, kind of sectioned. But with a little bit of finessing and squeezing, it does get into place, so I'm going to throw that in there now, and then I'll show you the finished product. But here's the finished product. It looks pretty good from like this far away. If you start to get pretty close, you can see how crummy some of those welds are. Not a huge deal. I do have to take it back off one more time to weld in the bung for the wideband sensor, but like I said, not a huge deal. I'll probably put that right in here somewhere. That way it's far enough away from the turbo, it won't mess with it, and it's far enough away from the outlet that it won't fuck with the readings. But all in all, I am pretty happy with how it turned out. I know that it doesn't like transfer to video and pictures well, but man, it was a nightmare to get this thing to fit through here. Like I said, if I had cut this like here and down a touch more, it would have been no problem, but like trying to snake it around the firewall right there and make it all work, and it is a little bit of a pain in the ass to get in and out. I mean, you have to, there's one small spot where you have to kind of force it, but I definitely think that the exhaust is probably the nicest part of the truck now. So I think we're kind of obligated to fire it up and hear how it sounds, even though it's going to blow oil all over the RX-7. I just want to hear it. Smoking like a blue hair at the slot machines, god dang. But it runs and it sounds pretty good. So one thing I'm noticing is, for some reason, it looks like this whole alternator power steering bracket is kind of twisted weird. Golly, this place is filled with smoke, holy crap. I am definitely going to die, so I should probably end the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And in the next video, I think we might kind of address the wheel situation. We'll see. We'll see.